This conference will now be recorded.
Let me know, Murtaza, when to start. Huh?
Yeah, I hope, welcome everyone. I hope people have practiced what Anandji had told yesterday. Any queries with what has been discussed yesterday? Anyone?
Anyone has done any practice or has opened the tally to see what I've shown you yesterday? Any attempt being made? I don't think so, Murtaza. People were busy throughout the day, I think.
Right, yes. We'll take time to get our hands on tally, right? Fine, so Anandji, yes, you can. I think we can start with the session. Yeah, proceed. Continue. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Murtaza. Good evening, everyone. So yesterday we discussed about the basics of teleprime and how you can use the teleprime in your own organization. Today I'm going to talk to you about more from the client's perspective. Of course, your perspective will also be there, saying that how you can generate the lot of MIS reports from Tele in the real life practical case studies, and how you can use Tele in a bit different ways. So kindly excuse me, I'm not going to show the very basics of you of the ledger or the group or even the taxation, because all of you are expert into that. So I thought about taking it at some different layer, which in my experience, not many people or not many organization has explored, although it is available in the default LP. So all right, let me just share the screen. I'm just sharing my screen. Murtuza, I'm not having the right to share the screen. If you can just allow me the.
Subhash ji, aap ho? I'll just call him Subhash.
Yes.
मिश्रा बोल रहा हूँ मुर्तुजा सर.
मिश्रा जी, अच्छा ओके. ओके मिश्रा जी, ओके हाँ राइट. प्रेजेंटर बना दो ना आनंद जी का. ओके.
सर किसको बनाऊं?
आनंद पुराना सर.
हाँ सर बना दिया सर.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sharing my screen. Alright. Is the screen visible?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. So again, today's session is going to be into two parts. Okay. One is I'm going to talk to you about some of the MISs which can be generated. And on the second part, I will discuss a couple of case studies about how the tally is being implemented with these solutions, okay, with these features into that organization. Okay. So let me just collapse all this which is coming in between right now. All right. So the MIS reporting, what you can do from the tally. So currently, I'm only going to talk about the MIS reporting, which you can generate via cost center or the cost category. I will also talk about the other MIS reports available in the tally and some other possibilities. The concept of cost center in the tally is a long existing concept in the tally. However, let us try and understand this concept first and then go to the tally and try and pass few entries to understand how it can benefit us. So, although the name given is a cost center by the tally, it is more like a profit center. So, you can take both expense, income, you can even take the assets, liability, everything. This is to be used to analyze your financial data with one additional dimension. So, say for example, you want to track location-wise detail, or you want to track the salesman-wise sales, or you want to track the maybe say project-wise profitability. You have only one additional dimension other than your financial statement. So let's say you are a company which deals into the projects and you want to know the project-wise profitability. Your normal P&L and balance sheet should not be affected. So thereby you can use the concept of the cost center. You can use it for your partner-wise profitability. You can use it for your practice area-wise profitability. It is up to you to decide which dimension you want to use. But when I say we want to use the cost center, it is only for the one dimension. Okay, we'll come to the second part, that if what if there is more than one dimension, how to do it. We'll come to that part. Then the cost center as a concept is designed for tracking the profitability of the year or for the period. Although you can also activate it for the your assets, liability, customer, supplier. However, Tally has designed this concept for the profit and loss account for the period. Therefore, what is one limitation here is when you split the data, when you split the Tally data, the cost center balances does not get carry forward. All right, and that's why you will not get the opening balance of the assets and liability if you are using it in the default Tally. All right. So let me just switch over to the Tally and show it to you some aspect where it can be used. Okay, so let me just continue with the our yesterday's company, or let me just open the another company, 9M company. Okay. Let me just see whether there is any transaction into this. No, there is no transaction into this. So let's say I am creating, just not create everything afresh. Okay, Prime and Company. This is similar to what we have done yesterday. My partner-wise profitability or my partner-wise outstanding is what I have seen yesterday. Okay, it is similar to that. All right, let me just remove this data control entry, what we had passed yesterday. All right. So see, for example, yesterday we talked about the two partners, partner one Rohit and partner two Manan. We get the outstanding statement. But what if someone asks that we have raised one invoice, and in that some of the services are rendered by partner one Rohit, and some of the services are rendered by partner two Manan, and I want to bifurcate them. Then in that case, you need to use the concept of the cost center. All right. So let me just go and create a cost center. So I can simply say go to cost center, go to button. I will simply say create master cost center. Okay. So see, this is the another feature of the Tally Prime. Previously in the Tally ERP 9, we used to go to the F11 and say the activate that feature and then come and start using that feature. Here in Tally Prime, you can simply say go to create master. So I went into go to create master, said I want to create a cost center, and Tally is now asking me that whether you need to enable this cost center. So I'm saying yes, please enable and create a cost center. So it has auto enabled this concept of the cost center. Now let's say I'm creating a cost center called Rohit, okay, which is I'm creating it under partner. Okay. This is one cost center I've created. Second cost center I'm creating as a Manan, again under partner. Let me just pass few entries quickly. Yesterday we passed all the entries, I believe, in the month of April. There is no entry in the month of May. So today I will pass the entry in the month of May with this new concept to explain you how this is working. So I'm going to the voucher. I'm going to the sales. All right. I'm going to the sales. I'm selecting the customer. Here I'm saying cost center or class not applicable. Okay. I can say now I have filed the, I have performed the internal audit. So today I'm not going to track with all my sales order or work list or the work done. That concept we already explored. You can do it otherwise for yourself now. Let me just deactivate certain feature here. Otherwise, F8 sales. I'm not using the class. Alright. I can select which partner it is. I can select the audit, select, put the amount. I can select the professional fees. I've just activated the cost center here also. Cost center applicability is yes. Alright. So now whatever entry I'm passing, I'm also tagging that this partner was responsible for this. Okay. I can keep on passing the entry like this, and in turn, I can generate the report that professional fee, how much professional fees has been generated by particular partner, irrespective of. See, yesterday when we have created the partner group here, we said that this partner is responsible for collection. So that is from the collection perspective what we have done. Here I'm saying from the perspective of the execution, which partners handle which work. All right. So likewise, we can keep on passing the entry. Okay, we can say none, and we can say whatever he has done there. I'm not selected the GST for the timing because I just wanted to explain you the concept here. Okay. Now, I can go to the cost center report. I can go to the display, statement of account, cost center breakup. I can go to the particular partner. I can change the period. There's some issue. Okay, so this is a Manan has come here. Okay. Now, this is very simple example. Now, what if I have created a sales invoice whereby both the partner have contributed something? Then how do I do it? So now again, I'm going into the entry. I'm selecting a customer name. Okay. And if you notice now, in the F12, I have changed some configuration. In the F12, this question was yes. Select cost center or class was yes. I have set it as a no. Okay. So what change it will do is, now it will ask me a cost center detail after I select the income ledger. Okay. After I select the income ledger. All right. So the moment I say this and say professional fee, now it is asking me a cost center. Okay, so if by any chance both of them has contributed to this and I want to allocate this to both of them, I can do this thing. All right. It is like giving an additional information to the tally right now about who has performed which work. Now I can keep on passing this entry for my expense, income. Let me just quickly pass few expense entry with this to make you understand how this works. Okay, let's say salary cost. Salary is already there. Let me just I'm just activating the cost center into salary. Cost center applicability is no. I'm just making it as yes. All right. The moment I say yes, this additional window will open up, and I will select which partners is going to bear how much salary. Alright, so this goes as an additional information to it. Now I can keep on doing this for all the expense, all the income, and in effect, when I now look at the report, display statement of accounts, cost center breakup. If I look at the particular, it will show me how much sales he has brought in, or how well he has contributed, and what is the uh, staff cost, or what are the expenses. So this way I can also track the profitability partner wise. Now, so this is how we use the cost center. When I want to track a one dimension into my financial statement additionally, it can be a salesman wise, it can be a product wise, it can be a SBU wise, it can be a partner wise in the case of a CA firm, or whatever you can design, whatever you can think, you can keep on creating the cost center, and you can keep on applying that while passing the entry of the expense and income, and in turn you will get the profitability directly. All right. So I will come to the inventory. If there is an inventory, there is some other configuration that needs to be done. I will come to that after the category. Now, cost center was for the one dimension. What if I want to use it to multiple dimension? So let's say in our example, I want to track partner wise. Along with the partner, I also want to track the my practice area wise. For example, I'm not maintaining inventory. I just want to track my business practice area wise, that what is a income tax contribution, what is a GST area contribution, what is a contribution from the audit and assurance, something like that. So and I also want to track partner wise. So there's a multiple dimension what I want to track. Then I have to use the concept called cost category. All right. So till now the category was not activated. So everything was under the primary cost category. So again, I'm going to the go to. I'm saying create master cost. I'm saying show more cost category. Okay. Again, it will ask me, do you want to alter? Because now I am creating a new master, new category. So till now, whatever cost center I have created has gone into the primary cost category. So it is asking me, do you want to alter the existing category of the primary cost category? I can alter the existing and say, I will simply say, no, I don't want to alter new. I just create a new cost category called practice area. All right, and I also create a new category called partners. All right. What I will first do is I will first alter the two cost center what I have created by changing from the primary cost category to partners. All right. I just change that to the partners, and now I'm creating the additional cost center. I'm creating the additional cost center under the practice areas. So let's say I'm saying income tax. I'm saying, let's say, GST work, or maybe say audit and assurance, or whatever practice area you are dealing in. Now, when I now pass the entry, either the expense or income, I can tag multiple times. So let me just show you. I'm passing it on 30th of June, a sales entry. All right. Again, I'm selecting a customer master. I'm selecting the, I can skip the item name. I can just select the professional fees, 1 lakh. So now it is asking me not only the cost center but also the cost category. Okay, so I'm saying partner. Oh, why it did not change? Okay, just give me a minute. Let me just check why it did not change. I'm just changing the. Okay, it did not change. Partner is this, and Rohit is also under the partners. All right. Now when I pass the entry, okay, I'm just skipping the item detail. I'm just saying a professional fees. I'm saying a partner, Manan, has contributed 40,000, Rohit has contributed 60,000, and the work belongs to practice area, maybe income tax work is 20,000, GST work was 40,000, and audit and assurance work was 40,000. So this is the another way of tracking. Yesterday, what we discussed was for maintaining my compliance workflow. That means what work is received, what is done, and sending the itemized invoices once the work is done, and then finding out what billing is pending for the work done. This is for some different reason. This is for the financial reasons. I'm just bifurcating this. All right. Now, if you see here, if you see the entry, I've given the breakup of the 1 lakh two times because I want to track with a two dimension. Okay, it is not that the 2 lakh entry has been passed. Entry is passed for the 1 lakh rupees, but it is taken two times. That's what it means. All right. So now, if I do this, and let's say some expense entry also let me pass. I'll stick to my salary expense. Okay, let's say salary expense was 35,000. So again, I can say out of which this belongs to Rohit and other belongs to Manan. And I can also tag it for practice areas that income tax was say 15 and GST work was 10 and audit was 10. Whatever is the actual breakup, you can keep on giving the actual breakup. In effect, what will happen is now when I generate my report, I'm going to display statement of account, cost center. Now I'm going to the category summary and first changing the period to 30th June month. Now if you see, I will get the detail that the total billing is 65,000 and this is a breakup. This is a breakup. Maybe let me just change to 30th June only because that is what will give me. Yes. All right. So 1 lakh was the credit side. 1 lakh was the credit side. This is how it works out to for Manan and Rohit. This was for the partner, and the same breakup of 65,000 is available for practice area wise also. Now the question is how many dimension can be tracked in Tally? So I want to track the partner wise. I want to track the practice area wise. Maybe I have a multiple offices in the different cities. I want to track office wise. Okay. Uh, I want to track the SBU wise, whatever. You can create n number of categories inside the Tally. Only condition is the moment to create the category, you will have to take the cost center with the category, and then when you pass the entry, expense or income entry, tag all the categories breakup correctly. Okay, so this is the very useful thing what the Tally has provided. Only limitation here is as I told you, one, although you can do it for balance sheet item also, but when you split the data, that will not get carry forward. So that's one limitation you can say, or not the limitation, the feature is designed in such a way. Okay. And second is there is a possibility that my data entry person may just give the breakup of partner wise and completely skip this. Okay. Then Tally will allow that to happen. Okay. Tally will allow that to happen. Okay, so this is another limitation because by default the Tally doesn't restrict you to do anything. It's your business, it's your thing. Your Tally understands that, and you can handle the work the way you want. So this is the another you can say limitation. But in practical scenario, wherever we implement the cost center, we suggest two simple solution to this. One is that for this to be avoided, we make all the category compulsory. We make all the category compulsory, saying that unless and until you select the cost center under that category, your entry will not get completed. So that gives a good user control. And second, at master level also, make sure that the user, see when the user is creating a ledger account of any expense or income, okay, he cannot change this detail. this cost center applicability will remain yes, and he cannot make it no. So in effect, what will happen is whoever is creating the new ledger, new master, cost center is always said to be as yes, number one. And number two, while passing the entry, there is a compulsion for him to select this partner on and the practice area. So he cannot skip that. Okay. And he has to select that. There is a possibility that some expense may not belong to any practice area, or it may be a generic in nature, or cannot be allocated to a partner. That's fine. What you can do is you can create one additional cost center under each category called not applicable. So, but at least he has to select not applicable. Even if it is not there, he has to select. So at the end, your profit and loss account as per tally, and whatever profit and loss account you are generating via the cost center report will always tally. All right. So this is important. Otherwise, people fail here. They understand the cost center. Some of the people do not understand the concept of cost category. Number one, someone has said them and they start applying this randomly, and the data get messed up. So as a word of caution, I am saying if you are implementing the cost center and cost category, make sure that you explain the difference of the cost center and cost category, number one. And number two, you build in certain controls so that the user doesn't have liberty to skip those things. Otherwise your MIS report will go haywire. All right. So any question related to the cost center or the cost category, or I will move to the next part of it. All right. Just a minute. Okay. We can also use the see cost center and the cost category is primarily the accounting concept in the tally. If you want to use it with inventory, then there is something called as a job costing in the tally. Okay, that I will come to the later part of the session where I have taken up one case study which I will show you that it can be linked, although it's a accounting concept, cost center and the cost category, it can be linked, but there is another way of doing it. So I will show you that. So this is a simple comparison which I have already explained to you. Next. Next is a different MIS report without affecting the books of accounts or default reports. Okay, so there is something called as a scenario management inside the tally. You can make use of the scenario management. It is kind of a what if analysis. Okay, so let me just show you that. Okay, so for that, first of all, okay, let me just go and create master, say scenario. Okay, again, I'm creating a scenario. I'm giving some definition to the tally. So let's say it is my MIS reports. What I would like to do in this MIS report is include actual data which is there in the tally. Yes. Okay. And I can also include some of the optional vouchers or the memorandum vouchers or the reversing journal vouchers. Okay. So let me simply say that, I want to include some of the optional voucher. Let's say I want to include the optional journal entries. Okay. This is an example I'm giving you right now. Okay. How does this work? Now let's say my profit and loss currently is showing the 1,33,000 of the profit. Okay. And the depreciation is only 1,000. Now I would like to pass one for the quarter. I would like to pass one depreciation entry. Let me just change this to quarter first. So first quarter. So now my profit is 69,500 something, and the depreciation is nil. For this quarter, for my reporting purpose, I would like to pass a depreciation entry. However, I know I will reverse it on the 1st July, or I will not like to affect my actual books of accounts. It is only for the report printing purposes what is required. So what I will do is I will pass a depreciation entry as a journal entry. Okay, but I will pass it as an optional journal entry. I will not pass it as a regular journal entry. I will pass it as an optional journal entry. I will simply say depreciation on computer. Let's say 3,000 was a figure for this quarter. Okay, and I will credit the computer. Remember, this is an optional entry. Okay. So again, if I come back to profit and loss account, see, it will not affect my actual books, actual profit and loss or actual P&L. However, from the right side, I can say new column, and I can say type of the value to show MIS reports. So I'm saying show me the scenario which I have created. You remember in the scenario we said include actual plus also include the optional general voucher. Okay. And I'm saying show variance no. So now it is giving me the two columnar report. One is actual and one is a scenario called MIS report. Okay. In which it is showing me the depreciation of 3000. Now I want to take a print of only the MIS report. So I will go to the column of the actual, okay, and then say delete column. So it will just hide the column, and this is my actual, this is my MIS report which I am generating. Okay, it will not affect my actual books of accounts. Okay, so think about the ways in which you can use. You can use it for your quarterly MIS report. You can use it for maybe for your bank submission for every quarter or every month you need to submit certain data to the bank, and for that you want to change something in your books of accounts. So you can create a new scenario called the bank OD. Likewise, or maybe a more better example can be, let's say you want to do some in-days adjustment. Okay. uh, and you want to see what will the impact of it, so you pass those adjustment entries into the tally via the optional voucher and create a scenario in days books. So otherwise it's a normal Indian books. If you click on the scenario, it will be your in days books. So variety of ways in which you can use it. It is up to your imagination now, how you want to utilize this. But yes, there exists a possibility inside the tally whereby you can actually create a scenario and do a what if analysis. Okay, let me just show you the scenario creation one more time. So I'm going to the go to create master scenario. You can create a scenario, give a name to the scenario, anything you require. Let's say India's books. Here we can say include, exclude. So you can say what you want to include into this, what you want to exclude into this, and that's all. After that, when you pass the entry, pass those entry into optional voucher and generate the scenarios. All right. And any questions, guys? Let me just see in the chat box. All right, there's no question. I hope all of you are there. All right. Have you guys anytime used this scenario management anywhere? Have you seen this scenario management? Have you used the scenario management? Quick reaction in the chat box. No, people have not used it. Okay. All right. So thank you for the response, Atulji, Vinitaji, Bhagwanji, and Manishji. At least this will help you people out there, saying that yes, there exists something called as a scenario management, which you can use it. Another way of looking at the scenario management is, let's say you get some. Let me just again do it for the quarter, and let's say for the MIS report, and I delete the actual. Okay. Let's say you are onto audit. You are onto audit, and someone gives you the printout of this report saying that yes, this is my P&L. As an auditor, you should be aware that actual should be written here. If it is written something other than actual, that means it is some scenario report which the accountant is giving you and not the actual P&L. All right. So maybe it can help. You may look at it from that angle also. Fair enough. Let's move to the next. Analytical procedure. This many people are aware about it, but just let me touch upon it for a minute because it is very useful for the audit at least. So you can go to the display more reports in the Tally Prime, go to the analysis and verification. go to the data analysis. There are various reports available here. I'm just touching upon the one here, analytical procedure. So two things. First, you can also select the another company if you have by pressing the compare company. So last year you have done the audit. You have the last year data with you. You can bring that data onto pen drive and load it here. So Tally can compare the data from the two different companies. That is number one. Number two, once you go into the analytical procedure, see here there is a comparison available. What you can compare? There is a concept of the ledger in the Tally, group in the Tally. We understood the concept of cost category and the cost center. So ledger, group, cost center, cost category. Out of these four, anything with anything you want to compare. So let's say you want to compare your professional fee with the partner, or you want to compare in the client scenario, you want to compare a simple example of, let's say, sales versus the indirect expenses. Sometimes it happens that we are finalizing the audit, or we are just looking at the P&L and we say कि last year क्या था, उसकी comparison में ये साल में क्या है. Okay, so maybe some article will plot it on the Excel and show it to you. That's fine. But however, Tally gives this all this report ready-made inside the Tally. You can say compare group versus group. Take a base group as a sales, compare it with the group indirect expenses. All right. Current period is April 21 to March 22. Previous period is 20 to 21. So since it is a period is given, you can do it for month on month or quarter on quarter or year on year. It is all up to you. See the kind of the report which the Tally gives me. At the top, it will give me the sales account, which was the base group. What is the current year sales? What is the last year sales? What is the variance? And the percentage of the variance. Okay. Below it will give me all the indirect expenses listed. Indirect expenses of the current year as a percentage of the sales of the current year. Indirect expense of the last year, although I don't have data, just explaining the concept. Indirect expenses of the last year. Indirect expenses of the last year as a percentage of the last year's sales. Horizontal difference in the amount, horizontal difference in the percentage. So at a glance, it will give me this report. Again, if I want, along with the indirect expenses, I want to add the, let's say, direct expenses. So on the right side, I can go to the advanced comparison and say, please add the group direct expense also. So currently it doesn't have any data. So otherwise, after indirect expenses, it will come as a direct expenses. So this is a very powerful reporting tool. Anytime when you are beginning the audit, my suggestion would be just spend 5 minutes on this analytical procedure. Maybe you want to compare the freight inward with purchase. Maybe you want to compare the sales sales commission or a commission with the sales. So commission is a ledger, sales is a group. Freight inward is a ledger, purchase is a group. You want to compare the purchase with the purchase return. You want to compare the debtor with someone else. I mean, imagination is up to you what you want to compare, and you just need to understand the structure of the client data, that what he has created as a cost center, what he has created as a cost category, what he has created, what he's using as a group, what he's using as a ledger, and then the field is open to you for comparison. And this is one report which if you use at the beginning of your audit for 10 minutes, it can substantially save your time and give you the direction as to what needs to be done in the audit. I mean, I'm a big fan of this particular feature. Were you aware about this, guys? Analytical procedure, and were you using it? Yes. Good to know, Atulji, you are using it. Very few people know about this and use it. All right. All right. Mixed reaction. Yes, no, yes, no. All right. Fair enough. Let me just move to the next. Ratio analysis, we all know, so I'm just skipping that. Cash flow, along with cash flow, there is an option of a cash flow projection into Tally. I don't know how many of you know this, but there's an option of the cash flow projection. So you can go to the display cash flow. Sorry, simply go to and say cash flow, show more, cash flow projection. Okay. So basically, what it does is takes your current cash and bank balance and it adds receivable and reduce the payable as per the due date mentioned in the entry. So we can give the number of credit days which we are giving to the vendor, to the customer, or which we are receiving from the vendor, either in the master when we create a ledger account or even in the entries. So we can give this data, and in turn Tally will throw me this cash flow projection, a simple report, but yes, useful. You can also add the OD limit here, saying ki if I utilize the OD, what is going to be the position. So small features are there. All right. This I will skip further today because I have the other presentation. All right. Only thing is that you can actually link your trial balance from Tally to Excel in a live manner. So after that, whatever changes you made in the Tally can be directly be updated into the Excel file. You don't need to do any export import. Okay. All right. Let me just go to the other part of the presentation. Any query, guys, still now in this? Otherwise, I'll move to the next part of it. I'm just waiting for a minute and loading the other presentation in the meantime. Give me a minute. Hmm. All right. There are no question, guys. I'm really surprised. Are you people using all these features? Okay, Manish is saying, but for the last data, it makes it slow. Which report are you talking, Manish? Are you talking about the cost center, cost category, or the analytical procedures? Okay, maybe Manish is not hearing me out. Or okay, analytical procedures. Uh, of course, in the last data, it will take some time to load, but still, it will be a far more quicker than anyone doing it manually. That's what sure it is. Okay. All right. Let me just load the other presentation. Thanks, Manish. Okay, so here I'm going to discuss about the Tally for service industry and some features of the again a default Tally which can be used in a creative ways. All right, so here I'm taking the two case studies, and via the case study I will try and explain you these features. Okay, so let's say so for service industry case study one, let's say it's a mobile tower renting company. Okay, for telecom is engaged in erecting the mobile tower and renting it to the telecom companies. So ownership of the tower remains with the telecom company. So there are various towers either on your terrace or in the open spaces around your uh, offices. There is a tower being erected from the mobile company. So actually, the mobile company themselves do not rarely erect this tower. There is a specialized SPVs who erect this tower, and then they in turn then give it out on a rent to the mobile company. So I've taken the example of the Ford Telecom, which erects this tower and give it on a rent to the mobile companies. So the ownership of the tower remains with the Ford Telecom. A company's main revenue stream is the rent income. Obviously, it is renting out this space to the to the mobile companies. Now, what is the wish list of the company? The company wants to track location-wise, tower-wise fixed asset, including quantitative details. All right. So this is first wish list of the Tally. Second is company wants to keep the track of a PO or the materials delivered, services obtained tower-wise. And the third is material purchase should not form part of the trading stock as it is in the service business. Obviously, its income comprise of the rent income, but it is a capital intensive industry. What they call in the common parlance is a capital WIP or civil is the name they use it. That till the time my tower is getting constructed, uh, it remains as my work in progress, and then it gets capitalized as my fixed asset. And there are multiple component which goes into building of a tower, right from the civil work to the construction material to the AC to the power backup to the DC set to the cables and dish antenna dish. So lot of material goes into making one tower. Okay. So, and the company erects the tower at a multiple places simultaneously. So, it wants to keep a track of the inventory. However, it is not going to sell those material. It will not. It should not reflect as a part of its inventory. So that is what the condition is. But they should be able to maintain and track the inventory inside that. Okay. So this was the mandate given. So how we can do it is, I'm just closing out this company and I'm opening the another company for telecom. It's just an example what I've created. So what you can do is, I will not run through all the vouchers. I'll just show it directly. See, mobile tower assets. So I've created under fixed asset. I've created an asset called mobile tower asset. Okay, and when you create any asset, so let me just show you that alter ledger mobile tower assets. Now here in the more details, I would say inventory value are affected as yes. See, by default, when I create a ledger under the fixed asset, it will say inventory value affected as no. It will be only be affected in the purchase and sales. Here I will say inventory value affected as yes. Okay. So that is why I'll be able to track whenever I pass a purchase entry or a PO entry, I'll be able to track what kind of the material I'm buying. So this is a power backup what I've bought from the my supplier. Okay, and it will go and reflect as a fixed asset. It will go and reflect as a fixed asset. It will not reflect in my stock. Number one. Okay, and I'll be also be able to utilize the system of the PO, GRN, and the purchase invoice. See, yesterday we have seen the system of the sales order, delivery note, and the sales for our organization by modifying it to the work list, work done, and the tax invoice. Similar to the sales side, on the purchase side, Tally gives me the option to generate the purchase order, pass a goods received note, that is a GRN, and then link it to the purchase invoice. Okay, so I'll be able to utilize that module completely. What are the two things we need to do here is, what are the two things we need to do here is, one, while creating the fixed asset ledger, we will say inventory affected as yes. We'll say inventory affected as yes. And number two, in the F11, in the F11 features, there is an option integrate accounts and inventory. This will say no. What will affect if I make it as a yes? If I make it as a yes, my all the inventory will start reflecting in my P&L and balance sheet. I don't want my inventory to reflect in my P&L and balance sheet since it is my fixed asset item or the capital work in progress item. It is not my trading item. So I would simply say F11 features integrate inventory and accounts as no. That's all. So my P&L and balance sheet will not reflect that as a stock item. It will understand that not as a stock item. In the stock summary, I will get all the reports, go down wise report, tower wise report. Okay, so that will be available to me. In the P&L and the balance sheet, this will not be reflected as an inventory. And at the same time, I'll be able to keep track of all my material movements, all my capital asset movement, where it is lying. Okay, and it is all available inside the default value. I mean, just using the feature of the inventory for the fixed asset. If you understood this example, you want me to run through the entries. All right, some response on the chat would be appreciated. Have you understood this example, or you want me to run some entries into this? Okay, so Atul ji has asked a very important question. What if I have a trading also and use building of assets also? All right, I will come to that. Come to that. Yes. Okay, only one question. Okay. So what we'll have to do, Atulji, in that case is I will keep this question as yes. Okay. I will keep this question as yes because I also have a trading inventory. I also have a trading inventory which should be reflected as my stock. But I will go to the inventory which is my non-trading item or which is my fixed asset item, and I will put it as a behavior option as yes. Okay, not behavior option. I will say the I will say it as a other more details as a valuation method or say costing method, and I will put it as a zero cost. Okay. So my normal trading inventory, I will put it as an average cost or FIFO or whatever method I am following. But for the fixed asset item, I will permanently make it at a zero cost. So what will happen in that case is, although it is, see, it has gone out of here, okay, because I made it as a costing method as a zero, costing method as a zero. So it will still be available to me in the stock item, but it will not affect my P&L and balance sheet. Yes, does that answer your question? It will still be available to me in my fixed asset with all the details. Okay, and it will also be available to me in the stock summary. Okay, does that answer your question, Atulji? Yes, thank you, Atulji, for the confirmation. So my entire purpose of this yesterday or today also, that yes, there's a lot of customization possible inside the tally. We ourselves do a lot of customization and implement it to the corporates, but wherever possible you can utilize the default feature of the tally more creatively, and start utilizing the tally in more depth before jumping onto the customization. Okay, any question in the first case study? All right, I will go to the next case study probably. Yeah. I need to unshare the screen because otherwise I'm not able to view the chat option correctly. So, all right. So that was the first case study, a simple proposition. Okay, now the same proposition can also be extended. Let's say for your share accounting, you are doing a trading in the market and you want to keep the inventory of how much portfolio you are holding. Okay, so what stops you from creating the inventory item called maybe say RIL? Okay, and it may be under, let's say you want to create it as a group called shares and securities. Okay, and unit may be numbers. Okay, and you can put the valuation option correctly. What stops you by passing the purchase sales entry along with the dates? You can also utilize the concept of the batch number so that you know that on which date you have bought it. Okay, batch number can be simply a date in this case. Uh, of course, it will not calculate your long-term capital gain or the short-term capital loss, but at least you have all the data that on which day you have purchased, on which day you have sold. So while passing the sales entry only, you can come to know that whether it's the short term or the long term. I mean, it is just up to your imagination that how you want to use it now. I mean, for even for the lot of people ask, can we use the default tally for the investment accounting or the yes, someone has asked something. Okay. So you can use it for the shares accounting also. I'm not going to show you to you that right now, but what I want is, I'm sure all of you must be dealing in some kind of the securities. Please create some stock item and pass few entries around there and come back with your queries. I will not show you everything here, but yes, that's a great way of using the tally. It's up to you. I mean, and there also you can have the multiple grouping in the investment accounting. Uh, so, for example, uh, like I did in the fixed asset, in the investment ledger, let's say you are creating a ledger called investment in shares that you are creating under investment. Oh, the investment is already there, so I'm not creating it. And just go to the more detail and say the inventory value affected as yes. Okay, that's all. I mean, now whenever you debit this investment in the sale shares, you can give the inventory details also. It's entirely up to you now. All right. So, any question, guys, till now? The same concept can also be extended for your library books. The same concept can also be extended to the laptops in your office, which you are giving to the people and want to track about it. I mean, the idea is very simple. All of the people in the office are more comfortable using the tally. Why buy separate software for everything? Why not utilize this in a greater detail? All right, let me just go to the. So Atulji has said no. So for which Atulji has said no, I have not understood that. Atulji, can you specify? All right, maybe he has denied that he has not used this. Okay, okay.
No
All
questions.
right,
No questions, he said.
all right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you. Let me just go to the second case study. All right. Uh, he is a turnkey contractor and he's in the business of the raised flooring on the turnkey basis. The kind of the raised flooring you see when you go to the metro station or the some shopping mall, you see the glass flooring below you. So that's a raised flooring. Okay, there is some supporting going inside it, and there's a glass on the top of it. So again, a lot of material goes into it. So this is a turnkey contractor who is basically a importing it from the another country and doing it the services here and installing. So his main revenue comes from the installation apart from the sale. So the wish list was okay. So when he imports, he will import as a material all the material. And when he bills, he will bill as a contract revenue. He may charge separately for the item, or he may not charge separately for the item. Now, company wants to track project-wise profitability, including inventory consumption. Okay. Sales invoice is of service revenue only, and the purchase include both goods and services. So this is what some conditions are there, and this is what the output desired. Okay, so let me again switch back to the tally. Let me again switch back to the tally and go to the. I will again close this company. Again, I have kept the company ready. TK International. Okay, so you see. Now we know that to track the project-wise profitability, cost center is our best bet. Okay, we can create each project as a cost center and start taking the profitability project-wise. However, as I explained you, cost center is only the financial concept or the accounting concept. If I have to do the inventory entry or I have to transfer the inventory from one location to another location, Tele doesn't ask me about the cost center. Please take my words. If you not use it, if you just transfer the material from the one godown to the another godown, Tele will not ask you about the cost center detail. So in that case, what you need to do is, see there is an option here under the F11 feature, okay, which is enable job costing. So you have to make this question as yes, number one. Okay, this is number one. Number two, you will definitely create a cost center. Let's say I'm creating a cost center called Project A. Okay, this is my cost center. So whenever I pass any financial entry, normal purchase, normal sales, I will use a project A. And I will also create Okay, let me just show you here. We'll also create a go down or a location with the same name. Okay, I'm creating the go down or the location with the same name. Okay, and when I'm creating that, I'm giving it as a more detail, and I'm saying it for job costing detail. I'm saying show more. Okay, job costing detail. I'm saying enter, and I'm saying set job or project for cost center or for job costing. And if you see on the right side, the list which is coming is of the cost center. Okay, so on one hand, I have created a cost center. On another hand, I am creating the go down or a location, virtual go down inside the tally. And in the background, I am merging the two, saying that project A cost center and project A location is the same thing. Okay, that's all. This is the only configuration required. After that, after that, whenever I pass any entry, let me just show you some entry here now. Okay, whenever I pass a purchase entry, I can keep the use of the cost center, or if the cost center is not asked, and even if I use the go down, okay, it will go into the cost center. Okay, so let's say if I pass a sales entry, okay, so I say I am raising an invoice of the project charge, okay, and this is for the project A. So this is a cost center. Remember this is a cost center. However, whenever I'm doing some transfer entry, okay, so from main location, when I've purchased it at a main location, my main go down, and from main go down, I'm consuming in the project A, or I'm transferring it to the project A. I'm passing this stock transfer entry, all right, and I'm selecting as a project A. Therefore, it will take it into the project A. I know it may be a bit confusing for you right now. First, let us have a look at the report. Then again, we'll come back to this. So display, statement of inventory, job work analysis, project A. Now it is kind of a P&L which the tally is throwing me. Revenue, what is the revenue for project A? Sales, direct income. This all are coming from the cost center. All the consumption inward, outward are coming either from the cost center or from the go down moment. Okay, direct expenses, indirect expenses is again coming from the um, cost center tagging, and what I get as a net profit. So exactly my project wise profitability, I'm able to get it. And this is a live case study. Both of them are actually a live case study. I've just seen the name and I've not taken the live data, but I've created a dummy data. But this client is using this from last 7-8 years consistently, and are getting the project wise profitability from within the tag. Okay, so that's the best part of it. All right. Any question, guys, onto this? How do I create this project wise profitability? I mean, it is an interesting concept. Uh, think about the possibility of any of your client who are more into the project based work, and now you go and propose them that why don't we track a project wise profitability? And for that, you don't need to buy any fancy software. We just set up our internal process about from where the data will flow in, and I help you configure into the time. Okay, so that's a great value addition from your side to the client. All right, no questions. Great, fair enough. Let me show you one very interesting thing. No one has actually noticed or asked me when I was doing it for this prime company. Okay, I was passing a sales entry, and in that there was a class called professional fees. The moment I created a professional fee class, all the details are auto captured. The entire entry template is auto captured. I just need to select the name of the party. If I'm using the inventory, then inventory details. Okay. And other details are automatically calculated. CGST, SGST, or IGST as may be applicable, including round off. So this is a kind of the entry automation you can do inside the tally. Would you like to know how I've done this? Is my okay? Is my screen visible, guys? Oh, my screen is not visible. Is my screen visible? It
Now
went
it is,
away.
yes. Now it is.
Now it is yes. Okay. So what I was explaining is, you have not noticed this, but when I pass a sales entry, I created a class called voucher class. Okay. I just selected the party. I selected the item. Okay. I'm just purposely I'm giving some odd amount. See, it has automatically calculated my taxation, selected the taxation ledger, put it into the taxation ledger. It is also automatically calculated the round off amount and posted into the round off ledger. Okay. This is the kind of the entry automation you can do inside the tally. Okay. So how I have done this? Let me just show you. Okay. What you can do is you can say again say go to alter master voucher type, go to the sales. Okay, under sales, I've created a class called professional fee. Naming convention you can decide. So just the professional fees. You can also say exclude or include this group to filter out the option available at the entry level. Then you can say what is a ledger name. Okay, so what is a default ledger name? So professional fee, and below that you can say your taxation ledger. CGST, SGST, IGST, or let's say in the case of your client, it may be a freight charges, insurance charges, so that they do not forget while passing those sales entry. And again, this can be auto calculated. So currently I have selected a GST and I said remove if zero. So CGST, SGST, IGST, remove if zero. So if it is an within the state data, it will automatically calculate CGST, SGST. If it is outside the state, it will automatically calculate the IGST and round off. I have said as a total amount rounding for a normal rounding of 1. So it will round off my entire invoice to the 1. Okay, I don't need to do it manually. So again, I'm showing you. Now when I pass the entry of a sales and I select this voucher class called professional fees. Okay, I just select the party, select the services which I'm providing, or select the ledger in that case if I'm not configured for the this thing. Now, see, it will automatically calculate CGST, SGST as per the defined rate, and it will also calculate the round off amount automatically and post it to the round off ledger. Yes, this can also speed up your data entry part. One, it can speed up your data entry part, and two, it can help you eliminate the errors that the people by error have selected CGST or SGST instead of a IGST. So that kind of the error can be eliminated easily. All right. So yes, this can be done. All right. Any question, guys? I'm almost through my session. We are early today. Any question, or if anyone of you want me to touch upon any specific areas, I can touch upon or repeat something. All right. There are no questions. I'm surprised. Generally, the tally session invites the highest number of the questions in the terms of the confusion or in the terms of the feature request. All right. Murtuza?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, members,
Murtuza,
anyone? Yeah,
yeah,
tell me.
I'm through with my session. If anyone has a question, we can take up or we can wind up early today.
Okay. Yeah, members, is there anything specific? Hmm. Okay, those who can, please turn on your videos. We'll just take a group photograph, a virtual group photograph.
It's a great idea,
Anand,
Murtaza.
yeah. Okay, that's really good.